Blog Talk Radio.
Good morning. We are live on Loudmouth Radio. This is Sunny, your host, and it is always a wonderful day to be on air. Today is Wednesday, April 17, 2019. I don't know about you guys, but the year is flying. We're already mid-April. Easter's coming up. Palm Sunday was last Sunday, guys. What are we doing? Hopefully you're doing something creative, doing something empowering, inspiring with your time. I know I am. And today's show is another symbolism of just that, artistry, creativity, and I'm always so excited to be able to bring you guys some spectacular entrepreneurs from around the world. And today's show, the Entrepreneurial Academy, Tea Time, you know it is live on Loudmouth Radio. Excuse me, girl, I was choking on air. I ain't want to let y'all hear that. Our studio lines are open for you to call in and be a part of the show, 347-826-7520. And our today's special guest, I'm going to share a little bit about her in just a quick second. I want to make sure that anyone that is tuning in, maybe for the first time, know what you got to actually hear and know what the show segment is about. The Entrepreneur Academy is a slogan for thirst and enrichment and achievement for your small business development. And it's a great interactive show for new and existing entrepreneurs throughout the world to connect and hopefully learn from each other. Our extra stream is available online. We're live, of course, right now, which you can go straight to blogtalkradio.com/loudmouth with two Ds, Loudmouth Radio, and pull us up. And we're currently streaming through some dynamic platforms such as Stitcher Radio, iTunes, TuneIn, Player FM, iHeart, you name it, we're there. Over 250 million active listeners through all of these various apps that our content streams through. So even if you come into this broadcast midway, you don't hear from the beginning, do not feel bad because you'll be able to stream it in its entirety once we come off air 24/7 on demand. Just put in Loudmouth Radio or any of your favorite podcast apps, and we're sure to come up. So today I want to make sure that you guys are in tune and you guys are ready with your creative juices because today's show is the Artistic Butterfly, Vonnie's creation with Shavonda Vance. And, you know, it's always so cool to meet other creators and creatives that is showcasing their overall abilities. And that's just with Shavonda, who's also easily considered as Vonnie, is showcasing her artistic abilities, her entrepreneurial skills, and has connected all of those things to provide great services. For over the past couple of years, she's overcome homelessness. She's a mother with 3 children. And her coming from a family as an only child with no real close family and friends, always in close proximity, she's really fallen into the stability of weighing on her own talents and creating a plan for herself, and that has allowed her to begin to flourish. And now she has her own business, and she's in the process of obtaining her bachelor's at Shorter University and currently in the process of building a program to assist other people who are facing similar struggles of homelessness, hardships, or lack of resources. And I'm going to tell you guys, this is always a blessing to hear someone who's not only walking the walk, but who has enough time to say, you know what, I want to give back. So for me, that's always a win-win. So I want to go ahead and say hello to our special guest and invite her on. And you're live on Loudmouth Radio. Shavonda, you are very much welcome to Loudmouth Radio, darling. How are you this morning?
I am wonderful. Good morning, everyone. It's good to hear from you.
Good. So you heard me talking all your business, girl. I was telling them everything I could. without the input to this point, right? How are you feeling this morning, honey? Happy Wednesday.
Honestly, I got butterflies. I'm pretty excited and a little nervous, and I'm just so grateful to be on. Yeah, literally. But
the artistic butterfly has butterflies. I love it.
But honestly, it truly is a blessing. It really is. I've had a few hard years, so to be able to actually experience this and know that I made a personal achievement, it feels really good. It really does.
It should. And you should be very proud of yourself. I'm going to tell you, until people know your struggles or know your story, they really don't know, Sometimes people, and it's just rule of thumb. We're just all human. So sometimes we take things at face value of what we see, and then we start creatively imagining and interpreting what we feel the storyline is, right?
Yeah.
And, until you tell your story, people just don't know, right? So
yeah, and I've also found out because of my circumstances, my previous situation, that because I guess based off of the way a person carries themselves or how a person perceives you, even if you're going through a hard time, people generally don't believe you unless they see it for themselves. And that's the most hurtful part.
Yeah,
even if you
rough.
Reach out to people and tell them.
Exactly. Unfortunately, people want to see the struggle, to believe the struggle sometimes. And if you're walking any essence of being an entrepreneur, if you're walking any essence of being an entrepreneur in itself, not talent like stuff, but just trying to do something that you're giving life to that has no bearing other than what you put into it. People are not necessarily invested, right? So until they can obtain that connection to you, it's just one of those things that you just really can't hold on to, and you can't allow it to disseminate the goals of what you're looking to do. You know what I mean? So because of that, you just got to keep moving. So let me ask you this. Do you want me to call you Shavonda while we're on air, Vonnie? I know that we've been talking on and off, and I know that I've had the opportunity to call you Shay. So I know your answer to all of them. I'm saying, you can call me Sunny, Loudmouth. I'm going to answer either one.
Yes, I was going to say whatever you're comfortable with. I guarantee you Google me, you're going to find me either way.
Exactly. I was going to say, now, we're on air talking, but there's a whole bunch of other listeners that's going to be hearing this show at some point or another. So should we just kind of stick with Vonnie, since we got Vonnie's creation going on with the Artistic Butterfly? I think that's a safe space. I agree. So, okay. Vonnie, if you would, tell us, just give us a little more than what that you feel comfortable giving as far as your background, maybe where you're from, and how you, come to the point of connection into, developing the Artistic Butterfly.
Okay, I can, I guess, give you a small bio. I pretty much grew up in Atlanta. I was born and raised in Atlanta. I spent a majority of my adolescence in Marietta, Georgia, and around the time I became an adult, I moved to College Park. Now, I guess the main detail of this is I was on public housing at the time. My mom, when I became an adult, left me a voucher. So I moved. Long story short, ended up losing my place, found myself homeless with my 3 children. And it was mind-blowing because, it's with Georgia laws, you can easily lose your home based off of anything, really. So
do I know? I understand.
I'm like, wow, it was mind-blowing. But either way, I found myself pretty much for the first year of homelessness hotel bouncing from hotels to hotels, working, using whatever money I can to pay for this room. And when you add up the finances of paying for a hotel room, you might as well be renting a house. But
right,
being an only child, not having any close family, you're not really given a book on life. No one tells you how to build credit. You don't really know what to invest in or if you should go back to school with kids or, so I was left with all these questions that I had to learn how to figure out on my own. And it was through my struggle I began to learn the answers. So after a while, things started to get truly hard. I found myself going to different shelters. I began to bounce around from jobs because of the lack of stability at home. And after a while, I knew I had to make the ultimate sacrifice. I knew it was either I have to temporarily give my kids up so I can be better for them or lose them altogether. So it got to the point, last year I made a very rough decision and I had to temporarily give them up so I can actually better myself. And when I tell you this was like the hardest decision, this was the hardest decision I ever had to make.
Yes, I commend you, sweetheart, because, there's this statement when you're, if you've ever flown, when you get on the plane, the stewardess and the flight attendants,
I see where you're going with that.
I was going to say, they tell you that when there's a case of emergency, to put the mask on yourself first. Then put the mask on the person next to you. So for you to be able to even begin to try to save another person, you got to save yourself first. And I know that may sound like a cliche, but
no.
Even, because you're not just an individual, you're a mother. And so you do have responsibilities other than yourself. And I think it was brave of you to say, look, if I can't keep all of us up, if I can put my kids in a position that's going to keep them safe right now, let me do that. And get myself into a position where I can. I know I've talked to you now, and, since that time period, you and your children are together more now, and you're in school. So what was the turning point for you?
Oh, Lord. The turning point was the summer. Even though, by the grace of God, even though I gave my kids up physically, I was still allowed to keep custody and stuff like that because, I basically came out and was like, look, I need help. No one's helping me. I can't do this right now. And I don't want to do this right now, but these are my children, and they can't suffer because I am, So after making that hard decision, I tried to continue. I tried to continue to build myself up and make sure I was doing what I needed to do to get them back. But I was so broken mentally and emotionally that I ended up going backwards before I ended up going forward.
And most of us do.
Yeah, and that's just life. I mean, usually it's like, it's over, like I lost, I failed. And that's how I felt. I felt like I failed as a mother, and because I had my children at a young age, that's all I knew. Like, being a mother, that's all I know. Right. And being the only child with no close family, my kids, that's the closest thing I have as a family. So.
Absolutely. How old are your kids, Vonnie?
Well, my daughter, she just turned 10 in March. My son, he literally just turned 9 in February. And then I have a 2-year-old, a little girl. And
okay, gotcha.
But yeah. But basically, long story short, it got to the point where I found myself. Luckily, I was able to do Uber for a while, so I found myself doing that, and I was doing that to pay for my room, and I would get my kids every once in a while and, spend time with them. But that cycle of every day having to get money for a room weighed very heavy on me during the summer. I didn't have air in my car. I didn't have the money to really go get drinks and stuff to stay hydrated. So I'm working all day to pay for a room that I'm barely going to sleep in just so I can have somewhere to lay my head at night. And I just felt trapped. I knew if any day passed and I slipped up, I would be out on the street. And that's just the simple fact of the matter.
That's the real, right. That's the real deal. You're right. So
I think I'll put up with it for a couple of months. What were you saying?
Allowing you, I didn't want to interrupt you. I'm sorry. You had paused, and so I was getting ready to ask you how long did that kind of take place, and then I was going to say from that, when did you start implementing the Artistic Butterfly? And if you would, I want you to tell our audience what the Artistic Butterfly, Vonnie's creation, is in itself, as far as what you're providing.
Okay. Well, like I said, I think I dealt with that for a couple of months, and it pretty much led to me, just emotionally breaking down, and I had to pretty much rebuild myself overall, emotionally and mentally as a person, and basically trying to learn. I had to learn how to be something besides a mother. That's basically what it is. I had to learn how to be something other than mommy all day, So I always loved art, and I began to tap back into that creative side. I went and reviewed some of my art, and I basically started to build an online portfolio that summer. Long story short, I pretty much what I wanted from this is it started off as like an online resume, to be honest. But the more I researched
building a portfolio. I was saying you
but the
building
more I researched,
portfolio.
Yeah, that's literally what it started off was at first it was a resume, but the more I researched, I learned about branding and how important it is to, establish your own brand and pretty much get out there and network. And
Absolutely.
I began to tweak it, and it kind of became my own, So after a while, it allowed me to network and actually show more than just my work experience, because that was my issue. I felt like just having a work experience on your resume kind of limits you, and I really wanted to stand out. I really wanted people to see that I'm talented and that I could bring something to the table. So
exactly.
Artistic Butterfly was created.
I love it. So for you now, I know you said you've always kind of dove into art. Can you share with our audience what type of artistic aspects are you doing? Are you dealing with paint, drawings, graphics? Just kind of give all aspects of what you do.
Well, actually, it's a little bit of everything. I've always loved art class in high school, so to dabble in a little bit of everything has always been my passion. I love drawing. My favorite thing is to sketch. I love to do sketch art. I also like to paint, use pastels, canvases, basic art tools. But I am working on graphic designs and stuff like that. Because I'm going to school for business, it allows me to use my art skills a little bit more for business-related tools like making business cards, websites, logos and stuff like that. So that's also what helped me, with making my website and, doing the things that I do.
Nice. So for you now, a lot of your clients are other small business owners. Yeah,
a lot of them are.
Okay.
They're usually either just getting started or would like to expand their customer reach. They will, it's really about networking and promoting. It depends on what kind of services you need.
Exactly. I love it. So for, let's take a quick commercial break, and we're going to come right back. And I want to have you share just some of your, I know right where you're at talking about some of your clientele. So let's come back from at this point when we come back from commercial, okay?
Okay.
Okay, hold on one second. All right, guys, we're live on Loudmouth Radio. Tea time. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Loudmouth Radio Network.
Recent auto accident, back pain, neck pain, stress, headaches? You and chiropractic can help. Here at Ewing Chiropractic, our office utilizes an approach of pain relief measures for the treatment of auto accidents, slip and fall, sports, and on-the-job injuries, as well as acute and chronic pain. We can be reached at 678-586-3592 and located at 5459 North Henry Boulevard, DC in Stockbridge, Georgia. Healing the injured one spine at a time. We can be reached at ewingchiropractic.com.
Ladies, are you looking for the next best find? Donche Shoutique will bring out your inner glam. The lady herself, Miss Donche, is dedicated to providing you with the latest in Hotlanta fashion footwear. It'll make you stand out at every event. In addition to our amazing prices, we are the go-to source for high fashion footwear. So stop by and shop online. We're sure to have the right shoes for you. www.donche-shoes.com. That's www.donche-shoes.com. Donche's is the only place you can go to still be sane and have a sure side.
You're listening to the Loudmouth Radio Network.
All right, we're back and we're live on Loudmouth Radio. And we're actually on air with the Artistic Butterfly Vonnie creation with Shavonda Vance, also known as Vonnie. We're just going to keep it with Vonnie today. So, Vonnie, before we went to a commercial break, we had an opportunity to just kind of hear your story of how you've come from homelessness with 3 children and, you know, diving and using your talent to create a plan and to, you know, now navigate into the world of entrepreneurship. So prior to our commercial break, I know you were saying that you were doing some different things like graphics, websites, and stuff like that. Who have been some of your clients? What type of businesses have you been working with, you know, prior, you know, at this point now to help them to build their different brands?
Actually, a lot of other fellow artists, a lot of collaboration work, plus convenience stores. A lot of local stores, small businesses need my services and actually request them quite often. You know, there's a lot of people just getting started that has a lot of, there's a lot of paperwork and a lot of, you know, bookwork behind dealing with employees and running a business. So I kind of take over the marketing and the promoting side when it comes to creating flyers, websites, and stuff like that. You know, the behind-the-scene work.
Exactly. I love it. I am going to tell you that what you've shared thus far is just so important. Let me first tell you that. I don't know if anybody has told you lately how important what you're doing is. And believe it or not just the factor of the graphics, the design work, but just that you're still getting up and showing up and working to better yourself. And taking the time today to come on here and be transparent and share with others what your struggle has been. And I heard you, I remember you said, you know, I was failing as a mother. I'm going to tell you, girl, get used to failing. Failing is going to build your DNA. Failing is going to help you to learn. If you're not failing, that means that you're not taking enough risk. You're not taking enough, steps to really test to see where you are. Vonnie, I know you're much younger than I am. If you don't mind, you don't have to share your age on air, but I'm pretty sure you're one of our fabulous under 30. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes, I'm 28, actually. I don't mind.
Okay, you right there. You're getting close. Mm-hmm. So, you know, it's so important to know that failing is a part of the process. If you're going to achieve something other than just going and clocking in somewhere, and I'm not taking that away from anybody, you know. Mm-hmm. We all clock in, even if it's for our own, right? But there's a different systematic approach when you're doing your own business versus going into something that's already built housed and you're just walking into and being a part of the process. So to navigate the level in the world of entrepreneurship, most people are not going to do everything. And there's something specific that you're doing and that what you're bringing and what they will get from the creative side of the artistic butterfly that they won't get from someone else. We have clients that we do graphics and things and stuff like that for, but there's something that you can give to somebody that, they're going to want and be drawn to get from you, right? And your story in itself, I love the way that you shared what you've achieved and what you've gone through, because it's made you into the person that you are now, and it's going to continue to help build you in your process. You're going to learn from some of the decisions that you made that's going to help to propel you forward. So, I tell people I have successfully failed forward, and I'm going to have more times. You're going to have these test phases where you're going to do something, and you're going to figure out if it's working for you or not. And if it's not, scrap it. If it is, do it. But if you feel like it's worth it, sometimes you might need to reshape it. You might need to turn it and, and put it in another direction. But if it's worth it to do, and it's worth it, and it's bringing you joy, you find the ability to keep getting up and working at it, then know that that's okay, and that's enough too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And honestly, I think that's. No, I was going to say I think that's probably why I experienced a lot of what I went through. Because it's weird looking at it, but when you think about it, when people go through bad things or have experiences happen to them, a lot of people either are glad it didn't happen to them or look at you like, well, what did you do to deserve it type of thing, And exactly. At first I noticed I would blame myself like, man, what did I do, or why me, and all of this. And I noticed when you set that aside and you get the emotion out of the situation, and you stop looking at your problems as problems and look at them as challenges that you aim to achieve, you do a lot better. Yes. You do a whole lot better. And it's really the mindset. The mindset is so powerful, and people don't realize it. They don't take control over their thoughts. They just let their thoughts happen to them. They just accept whatever comes into their mind. And that's what I allowed to defeat me for so long. I had to stand up and fight and be like, you know what? No, I'm better than this. My children deserve more than this. I'm not going to accept this.
I'm proud of you. Right.
And I want others to feel that way too.
Yeah.
No matter what, no matter what you're going through.
Right. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you gotta get that jerk and say, look, man, I want different. I feel different. I am always going to encourage those that have gone through something to share their story, and you have to do it when you're comfortable enough to do it. And what I love about what you're saying is there's strength in what you're doing. There's strength in your journey. There's strength in your creativity. So for you now, what is your goal for your business, and what would you like, for your clients, whether you have them now or in the future, what would you like to say that they'll get from you in working with you?
Honestly, I've been thinking about that myself, because that's what a lot of businesses need to achieve. You always got to know what helps you stand out in a business. And honestly, I think it's my experiences I think it's my personal experiences that makes me a great businesswoman. Because of my experiences, I know I have that drive. I know I'm hungry, and I know I'm going to handle my business. And I know when I work with people, whatever goal we aim to achieve, we're going to achieve. As long as we're on the same page, we're going to achieve our goals, we're going to make our money, and we're going to do what we have to do and go home. It's not going to be anything extra or anything less.
I love it. Vonnie, you're from Atlanta, which is so rare. Atlanta has, a plethora of people from everywhere else, right?
Now it does, yes.
And then every so often, people, hey, I'm one of those folks. I'm not even from Atlanta originally, but hey, we get here and, it's a takeover, right? For you being an original, as you say, an Atlanta native, Where do you feel that things are going? I don't know how you say you've been doing your business now for a few years. It's just so funny. Somebody asked me yesterday, I believe, or the day before, I was in the airport, and they said, you know what, is Atlanta good for small business owners? What's your take on that?
Lordy, from my experience, it depends on the type of business and the drive of the person. Atlanta is great for business altogether, but if you don't have that drive to get up to do what you need to do every day, because you're going to have to do it every day when it comes to business, you're not going to have a successful business.
Every day, okay?
Because you got to understand, it's every day. You don't get no day off. Not right now. It's hard work.
Okay. But you know what? You have to wedge some time for yourself. I'm going to tell you this, that sometimes what people do fall short on is the importance of the reset button. And I know what it is to go 17, 18, 19 hours and you hit burnout so fast.
Oh,
right?
yeah. That I had to learn to control.
Yes. But at the same time, I think that it's one of those things that you can work at it every day. You know, there's a difference. There's a significant difference you feel when it's your own. And your drive is different, you know? So it's not the same feeling necessarily that someone may have working for a company on a day-to-day basis, working every day. But working at what you're doing on a day-to-day basis is very true. And sometimes it's not always the same application. You know, you might be spending a day designing. The next day you might be curating something else.
Exactly.
You know, another day you might be networking, sending emails, making phone calls. So all of these things, constitute the development of your business and the development of your brand. Vonnie, what would you like the people to know today that you have not shared about the Artistic Butterfly and Vonnie's Creations? I want to ask you, too, how did you come across that name? So I want you to answer that, too.
You said you wanted me to answer what? I couldn't hear.
I'm sorry. I want you to answer that question, and also, if you would, share how you came up with the name the Artistic Butterfly and Vonnie's Creations.
Oh, okay. For my business, currently, I'm in the process of networking and building collabs with different artists. So right now, my main goal is to work on actually building up more clientele and getting my brand out there, because I would like to work on my own online store and perhaps even, clothing and stuff like that. But right now, I just would like for people to know me, to know my business, to know my services are available, and to know that I'm more than willing to help. As far as the name, I pretty much played around on a few name generators because I wanted it to stand out, but I wanted it to have pieces of me in it. And with online name generators, they ask you a series of questions that relate to your business. So, they can help you come up with a unique and creative name. And honestly, these were two names, Artistic Butterfly and Vonnie's Creations. But I combined them together because I felt like they both represented me.
So for you, what is the next couple-year goal? What's your next couple years goals from now? What would you like to do and achieve within the next few years?
Honestly, I would like to continue what I'm doing now. If it wasn't for what I went through, I wouldn't be the person I am today. I wouldn't step outside my comfort zone. I wouldn't even be on the radio right now. So I want to challenge myself. I want to keep. It does, and I want to challenge myself because I feel like the more I push myself and show people my capabilities, then I can challenge them. Because I want people to do the same thing.
Yes.
It's a lot of people right now that are just accepting their circumstances. It's people that's listening right now going through something. And I want them to be inspired, and I want to challenge them to step outside their comfort zone, do something you wouldn't usually do. Become successful.
Right.
Apply yourself, even if you fail, because that's the only way to succeed is to constantly fail.
And what's your definition of success, Vonnie?
Honestly, success is based off of that person. You know, some people, for success, for them is just having a healthy and happy family, you know, while others, success for them is a big house and car, you know. So I feel like it's based off of that person and what they want out of life.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think everything that you said today is just authentic and real. I'm totally connected to everything that you stated. For you to still be at the phase in which you are now, age is not just one factor, but your experiences is probably far greater than where you physically are in age, okay? And you've done a wonderful job navigating through this thing called life, okay? So
thank you, because it wasn't.
You're so welcome. And it's not going to be, okay? I love the factor that you're just showing up and you're staying at it, and that's what you just got to continue to do, honey. And as an entrepreneur, the one takeaway I'm going to ask that you will share is that what would you tell another aspiring entrepreneur, whatever it is on your heart, what would you share to them to give them inspiration in their walk?
I think the most important thing I would share is what I learned. The only person that can steal your dreams is you. Do not talk yourself out of your dreams. Do not talk yourself out of your goals.
I will do that.
Yes, because literally only you can kill that dream. And when you decide to do that, that's when you stop living. Literally. I mean, that's the best advice, because I've done that. You know, I've given up and I stopped trying to move forward. And I noticed when you stop dreaming and you stop trying to achieve goals, you just pretty much allow life to just happen to you. And don't do that. Don't let life happen to you.
I love it, honey. There was something a friend of mine posted the other day. I want to see if I can find it real quick, because it touches on what you just said. Vonnie, you are an amazing individual. I know that you're going to continue to be very successful. You're already successful now, but I know you're going to continue to do some great things. And I found the post that I wanted to share. Being broken is oftentimes not your choice. Being broken is. How about that? Let's give that small dose a hand. That's a small dose. I think that as we navigate and we continue to go through the things, because as an entrepreneur, you're going to always experience things, and your obstacles and your challenges may be greater than the average person, because you're taking on a whole lot more. And then you add on there that you're a parent. Then you add on there that you have your own things that you just desire for yourself. So there's always going to be a constant aspect of making decisions and making some possible times you're going to have to make some real difficult decisions that could relate to real sacrifices. So the Artistic Butterfly, Vonnie Creations, I want you to share all your social media handles as well as your website and let people know how to get in touch with you, preferably.
Okay. My Facebook is The Artistic Butterfly. My Instagram is The Artistic Butterfly.
Because I know you spell it differently. Vonnie, if you would spell the difference of your handle so they can make sure they pull you up.
Okay, well, you can always add me on Facebook at The Artistic Butterfly, and it's the THE Artistic, but it's with a K, ARTISTIK, Butterfly, BUTTERFLY. My Instagram is at The Artistic Butterfly, THEARTISTIC, BUTTERFLY, Butterfly. THEARTBUTTERFLY. My website is www.theartisticbutterfly.com. TheArtisticButterfly.com.
Love it. The Artistic Butterfly Vonnie Creations. Vonnie, I'm going to share for those who have not had an opportunity to go to her website. She's got some really nice pieces, some pieces that I call self-expression, where she's played with some different layouts and graphics and stuff. Just really done some really cool stuff. And so, but when you talk to a creative person like this, don't just take what you see on the website as the end result. I'm sure that there's so many other things that she can do and create for you. So, if you got an idea, bring it to her. I'm sure she'll be able to navigate and carve it out and shape it the way you like. So, Vonnie, thank you so much for taking time to be on air with us. Like I said, Loudmouth Radio is supportive of your mission and your goals. And we hope that we continue to be able to hear some great things about you, so you make sure you stay in touch with us. And thank you so much for taking the time to be on air and share your story, honey.
Thank you so much. It was a great pleasure. You all have a great day.
Thank you so much, Vonnie. We'll talk soon, sweetie. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back on Loudmouth Radio.
You're listening to the Loudmouth Radio Network.
On a tight budget, find local savings.
Sunny and Jazzy of Loudmouth TV is taking off with a brand new show, Off the Market, with its first season within the beautiful state of Hawaii, featuring some of the most sought-after areas of beachfront and inner island properties on the island of Maui and Oahu. Tune in to each episode with host Jazzy Jones-Smith as she talks to featured real estate agents as they showcase their open house listings to private homeowner tours where you just might find a house that you may want to take off the market. You're listening to the Loudmouth Radio Network.